We have a classic mistake. Hold me. What's up world, my name is Charlotte and you're watching Valorant 101. I'm a former professional CSGO and PUBG player with over 20,000 hours of experience in FPS games and over 50,000 hours in esports overall. We're continuing our How to Play Valorant series where I'm going to coach you on your bad examples and make you improve in Valorant. And the topic of today's video is early game economy in Valorant. First 4 rounds are considered to be early game rounds of each half, and I see a lot of you guys are struggling when it comes to in-game economy. But today I'm going to teach you what, when, and how to buy in order to be ahead of your enemies in those early rounds. I don't have a degree in economy, but I certainly have a degree in killing people. Wait, what? In video games. Before we start, I have to mention a few rules from now on. If you want me to review your VODs on stream or in my videos, they must be 1080p with no lag and no stuttering, clean, recorded gameplay. And this is not because of me, but because of other people that are watching the channel and live streams, because of you. Second thing, from now on, upload them on YouTube as unlisted and send a link of your YouTube video in my Discord server under VOD Reviews channel. When Valorant gets replay system in-game, then you are going to upload your replays in that same channel of our Discord server. The channel will be private, so no one will be able to watch that video and replay beside me. I will use your VODs and replays for making this series, and I will explain others through your example how to improve certain things in Valorant. I won't go over the problems or topics that I already covered in my YouTube videos. I will only make videos about new mistakes and new topics that I didn't cover already. Also, if you have some kind of questions about the game or how you can improve, please don't send me DMs or personal private messages. I will be answering to every single question of yours about Valorant down below in the comments or through my YouTube videos. The whole point is that I want us to build a strong community that will improve and succeed together. If I spend a lot of time on giving you tips and tricks behind the scene, other people won't get the same kind of knowledge. And if you already want to support me through donations on live streams or via YouTube memberships, all of that money will go into improving the quality and quantity of the content that I'm making for you, my friends. And for those kind of people, supporters, maybe I'll do some kind of personal coaching in future. But for now, let's jump straight into the action. Today's star of our little show is the guy called Yerba Mate. He's playing Raze on the map called Split. It is the first buy round of this match, so the match just began. Before we start this coaching session, I wanna explain you the basics of Valorant economy. So this is the basic spreadsheet. I'm sorry, there's a lot of spreadsheets I'm gonna show you. I know they are scary. I know economy is kinda scary, but why did I learn economy for 1 year? I was learning economy for 1 year. This is the perfect time to use my knowledge. At the start of the game, you get 800 credits. So everyone in your team and in enemy's team gets 800 credits at the start. First round win gives you 3000 credits, and every other round that you win is always going to be additional 3000 credits in your pocket. First round loss gives you 1900 credits. Second round loss gives you 2400, and third round loss bonus is 2900 credits. This means that if you lose the first round, so for an example, you lost the first round of the match, you will get additional 900 credits in the next round. If you lose the second one, you get this amount of credits. If you lose the third one, you get this amount of credits. And if you lose the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, etc., you will always get this amount of credits. Every single kill in this game is 200 credits, no matter what gun you are using. That is really important, and that is going to dictate what weapon you are going to actually buy in this game. Spike Diffuse gives you nothing. 0, it gives you basically a victory for your team. Yeah, so that is the Spike Diffuse. Planting the spike gives you 300 credits for everyone in your team, which means that your team will get 1500 additional credits. Staying alive gives you loss bonus, which means even if you are attacking, which is not the situation in Counter-Strike, you will get loss bonus if you lose that round. So for an example, in CSGO, as a terrorist, if you save the gun, you're not going to get loss bonus. In this game, saving guns, saving your economy, saving your armor is really important. So you should save if you're in a 1 versus 5, 2 versus 4, 2 versus 5. If you're in a really bad situation, consider saving your weapons. It will save so much credits and so much money for your economy, man. You're going to be like a Dubai rich. You're going to be next sheikh, my friends. And I'm not talking about sheikhs that you take in a gym. I'm talking about actual sheikhs from Dubai, man. You're going to be prince of your team. So save armor. Save your gun if the situation is bad for your team. If you are in a 1 versus 5, 1 versus 4, try to save that weapon and try to save that armor. In the next round, you will be able to buy maybe a weapon for your teammate. Always consider saving weapons in this game. And your economy is not it's your team's economy. You need to think as a team player. There is 5 of you playing against 5 other opponents. And these are basically the base guidelines of Valorant economy. You need to know this at all times. Every single time you go in Valorant, every single time you go into next round, you need to keep this in your mind. Just keep it in your mind. Start of the game is actually the first round of that halftime. So we have 2 starts of the game basically, like the first round of the game and the first round of the second halftime. And on the halftime, the credits are resetted, of course. You don't transfer credits from the first half to the second half. Right here is the first round of their half, so it's the start of the game. They have 800 credits. There is a few options which you can buy at the first round. First pick that you can do is actually you can stay with the classic sidearm, you can buy light shield, and you can buy all of your abilities. You should pick this option if you are on attacking side, if you know that you're going to rush enemies with your pistol in a close corridors, and also if you're playing some really strong character with a strong abilities. For an example, buying this kind of things with Cypher is not beneficial in the first round on the attacking side, because Cypher kind of has, I don't want to say useless abilities on attacking side, but he's much better on a defending side as an agent, especially with his abilities. So with Raze, you can actually buy that combination. You can stay with this classic pistol that you actually have. You can buy light armor and you can buy your abilities in order to engage enemies and enter the bomb site. Second buying option is buying Frenzy and Light Shield. This option is really viable on a defending side. If you are playing close quarters, close corridors, or if you are straight into enemy's face, you should consider playing Frenzy. Frenzy is a really good and OP gun. I wanted to say rifle, but it's a gun, it's a pistol, which you can use in a close corridors, close quarters fights, close combat. And the third option, which is my personal favorite, it's the Ghost plus abilities. So you buy Ghost for 500 credits and you buy one and the other abilities. So you have basically 3 abilities and a really, really good pistol. This pistol can be really useful on a mid-range and on a long-range fight. So if you're playing C-long, A-long on Haven, if you're playing, for an example, on Split, B-long, anything like that, like really, really long-range fights, consider buying Ghost and your abilities. Sheriff, it's an option. Like, you can buy Sheriff because it has a really, really high damage. Like, this gun will shred your enemies, but I think in the first buy round, those are your 3 viable options, and Sheriff only if you really want to be that cocky player, if you're confident that you can hit those extremely good headshots. Right here, we can see that our friend Yerbamate decides to go for the Ghost and abilities pick, which is amazing at Split as a first buy round for attackers. We can see that Yerbamate is attacking mid from sewers. He's holding angles pretty good. You should always keep your crosshair at an angle where you think your enemy might be. Right now, they're checking mid. So when you are double checking mid or any position, you should be aware that enemies can peek at any point of time, and both of you should be aware of that. This Phoenix made a mistake because he drew out his ability way too early. They didn't check this corner, They didn't check if enemies maybe pushed B or enemies maybe pushed already mid. So instead of that, they both should have cleared this corner, and then Phoenix should drop his flashbang and they clear mid. But here they get picked because Phoenix did a really bad mistake. Never draw out your abilities before you clear certain angles or certain parts of the map. Then we have a classic mistake. Hold me. No. Always, but always remember, my friends, always save if you lose the second round in this game. If you already wanna force it, but with useful guns. If you force with Stinger and light armor, that will do nothing to your enemies. So, if you lose the first round and you go into second round, you have really few options with which you can play in the second round. The main buy, if you really want to force it, should be Sheriff and Heavy Shield. So basically, in this game, Heavy Shield is everything. Heavy Shield is your bread and butter, because having those additional 50, this is basically additional 50 health points. It's not the same as in Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six Siege, or any other game. This is additional health points for you. This is not armor, this is health points basically. You buy additional health points. So you should always play with Heavy Shield at every single point of time. Light Shield, yes, there is a situation when you should buy that Light Shield. It can save you, especially in the first round. But if you're already forcing in the second round, consider buying Heavy Shield, Sheriff, and one of your abilities. So if you're forcing in the second round, consider buying Heavy Shield and Sheriff and one of your abilities. You really need to learn how to play Sheriff. But remember, if you lose that second forced round, you need to go eco in the third round. You should never buy in the third, like if you lose 2 rounds in a row, please save in the third round, because you will be unable to play against enemies who have Phantom, they have Vandal, they have already Operator, they have Heavy Shield, they have Guardian maybe. And what do you have? You have stupid Stinger, stupid Spectre, and a light armor. No bueno, it does not work like that. In the second round, if you won the first round, you should consider buying Bulldog, or with a Heavy Shield of course, or maybe Heavy Shield plus Sheriff plus all of your abilities, or Heavy Shield plus Marshall plus all of your abilities, or Heavy Shield plus Spectre and your abilities. Stinger is a really bad SMG at the moment. Really bad, so random. On a long range distance, you're not going to kill anybody. Buying any of these guns in the second round, like this Phoenix guy, no bueno. No bueno, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's really bad. You're not going to kill enemies. Like, you really need to be precise. You really need to be lucky in order to kill. And enemies have to be really bad, to be honest. If they are going to die against Ghost in a forced buy round. Like, there is no other explanation. Stinger, no bueno. In the second round, consider buying Spectre, Marshall, Heavy Armor, Sheriff, and that's it. If you lost the first round, buy Heavy Armor and buy Sheriff. Or save the money so you can go full buy in the third round with Vandal, Phantom, and Heavy Shield. Heavy Shield is must have at all times in this game if you are going to kill and engage in fights with your enemies. And abilities are extremely important in Valorant. They will allow you to enter the bomb sites or defend the bomb sites easier and take those juicy quadra and penta kills. So always have that in mind. Right now, my brother Yerbamate decided to buy Stinger and Light Shield. There is nothing, but nothing you can do with this combination. Especially the thing that he's doing right now. He's going on mid with Stinger and Light Shield at the second round. If enemies have Vandal, if enemies have Guardian, Bulldog, anything, even Sheriff and Heavy Shield, my friend Yerbamate is at the disadvantage and he will die in 80% of situation. This is a second mistake that I see a lot. When you're using your abilities, maybe it's a boom bot, maybe it's Sova arrow, maybe it's your grenade of Raze, never use it in a way where enemies can see you. If the enemy was here with a guardian or sheriff, my friend Yerba Mate would be dead instantly. If I was there with guardian or sheriff or marshal, Yerba Mate, my friend, you are donezo. You are in the grave 6 meters below. So always use your abilities around the corners, at the places where enemies will be unable to see you, or bounce it from the corners. So for an example, you can use this boombot of this corner here. Like I cannot really point it out, but if the Yerba Mate is standing for an example here, he can bounce the boombot from this side so it goes up the stairs. He doesn't have to show himself here, you can bounce it here and here. Same goes for the grenades, like you don't need always to throw them directly at the enemies. Try to think, can enemies kill me while I'm using this ability? Am I safe to use my abilities? Now we come to another mistake that I see a lot of times beginners and people that just got into game make. You always need to think where enemies might be. So his teammate died from the behind, from the enemy's Omen, from the ropes. So the enemies are attacking the mid section of the map. He already has his Phoenix teammate in the heaven. So the enemies, there is no way that the enemies can come from this side. So you always need to think, where should I place my crosshair? How should I engage fights? And where should I actually look? What is this? What's this? Why do you peek here? Like, he moved his crosshair here for a moment because he heard that his Phoenix is fighting. Yeah, your Phoenix is fighting, but the enemies will not engage you. Maybe your Phoenix friend will die there, but you are safe from this position. There is no reason to flick your crosshair here and then flick it back here. If my friend Yerba Mate plays his crosshair here, he will be able to easily take double kill on Omen and Sova with the Stinger rifle, especially because he's on a close range. But because of that one flick, just one flick, look at this. It's a one simple mistake that could have saved him life and also give him 2 easy kills. Look at this. Really bad flick, then he had to readjust his aim, he had to get back on track, but he dies from Sova. Now we are into third round, and our friend Yerba Mate has 2,800 credits. Okay, so you lost the first round, you forced the second round, and you also lost that round. So right now, you should consider a half buy or full save. Half buy is when you buy enough of equipment so you have enough money to buy main weapons in the fourth round. So for an example, half buy at this moment, because he has 2,800 credits, will be buying Sheriff and Heavy Shield. And then he will have 1,000 credits in the next round, and he will also have additional 2,900 credits, and he will be able to buy Phantom and Heavy Shield in the next round. But instead of that, my friend Yerba Mate again decides to buy this gun, which is no bueno. In the third round, he buys Stinger, he buys Heavy Shield and abilities. It is the third round of the match. Enemies already have established economy. They won 2 rounds in a row, which gave them 6,000 credits each per enemy, which means they have 30,000 credits in their pocket to manage and to buy weapons. They already have all Guardians, Bulldogs, Vandals, Phantoms. Your Stinger will not be enough to kill those enemies, so you really need to pay a close attention at your own economy. Even if your team is not following your economy, you should be the one that is forcing your team and telling them, listen here folks, we need to save. Listen here folks, we need to buy. We need to half buy. Try to guide your team, because if there is no one that's gonna be in-game leader, you, Yerba Mate, try to be a team in-game leader for that round, for that match, whatever. try to lead your team into better economy and better credits management. So what would I do in this example? I would probably full save. I wouldn't buy anything because in the 4th round I would have a Vandal or Phantom, I will have heavy armor, and I will have all of my abilities. Or I would go for a half buy. I would buy, for an example, heavy shield and sheriff, and try to go for those 1 sheriffs, yeah, 1 digs, whatever, because sheriff is really OP gun in this game. It's a bread and butter of all pistols in the 4th rounds and the half buy rounds, because this is not a deagle from CSGO. This gun is extremely precise and extremely deadly if you learn how to play it. So let's see what our friend Yerbamate will do with Stinger in this round. He has full armor. There is still a possibility that he will kill an enemy if he has a like lower tier gun than him. He engages in a long range fight instantly. This is bad. This is something you should never do with Stinger. Stinger has only 20 bullets, extremely high fire rate, extremely hard recoil to control. You are deadly on a close range, but at the mid range and long range, you are a potato. You are a walking target, like easy target for your enemies. If I was there with Guardian, my friend, you would already be dead. Okay, I also want to give you a really quick analogy to CSGO. So in CSGO, when you kill an enemy with SMG or shotguns, you get extra money. That's why SMGs and shotguns are really useful in CSGO, because they are supporting your economy. For an example, you can buy UMP, P19, etc. and still carry those weapons in a 3rd round, and you can still benefit from them like in that certain round. So if you kill an enemy with SMGs and shotguns in CSGO, you get actually more money. In this game, in Valorant, you get the same amount of money for every single kill. No matter if you kill the guy with knife, with shotgun, with SMG, it doesn't matter. That's why these guns are not really useful in Valorant. They have really limited use, and in my opinion, they don't have place at the moment. They don't have the right place at the right time. To be honest, one of the best buys in the 2nd round of Valorant. So if you won the 1st round and you are going into 2nd round, consider buying Bulldog and maybe heavy shield, or if you have money for heavy shield, of course, if you got at least 1 kill or maybe planted the bomb, etc. Or maybe light shield and Bulldog, because Bulldog, you are able to use this gun in 3rd round as well, if you win the 2nd round, in 4th round as well. You can keep this gun actually. But if you're going into 3rd round, into full buy round against enemies that have Guardians, Phantoms, Vandals, with Spectre and Stinger, there is nothing you can do. Plus, there is no benefits to these guns. Like, there is no real benefits over Guardian, Phantom, Vandal and Bulldog, because you don't get that extra power, that extra money that you actually need for your economy. That is why I recommend you to buy Bulldog in a 2nd buy round. If you don't have money, then it's okay. You can buy Heavy Shield and Spectre and everything that I've explained to you later on. You also need to think about what enemies have, because in this game you're actually able to see what is the enemy's economy. You can see at the buy round, so you can see at the start how much credits does the enemy team have, what will they buy, what guns will they have. This is something that we don't have in CSGO or any other shooter game. We don't know how much credits enemies have. Riot Games made this really easy for newcomers and beginners. You're able to see how much credits enemies have. And always remember, guys, Heavy Shield is something that you must have at all times. That is basically the main part of equipment in this game, because it's so useful. It will basically be the difference between you winning and losing the fight, especially if the fights are longer. For an example, both of you are spraying your targets, so both enemy and you are going full on spray mode with same guns. Of course, the guy that has heavy shield will always win. And as I said before, you should never be using your abilities in this kind of way. Like, Boombot is useless here. The Boombot is being used in a small corridors where you need to clear those corridors from enemies or enemies pushing. Right now, Boombot is useless here. For an example, enemies could have a sniper here or somebody playing this position and you would be dead, my friend. And also, what I just noticed is something even more greater, the biggest mistake of all times. I didn't notice this before, but I just did. Look at this. So, they won the previous round. They actually won the previous round. And my friend has 28 armor left. What does he do? He has 5,400 credits. 28 out of 50 armor. Does he replenish his armor? No. No. No, my friend. You should always keep your armor at 50 health. Or 50 points or 50 shield, whatever. You should always have 50 armor. Of course, if you have like 45 or 44 armor, maybe don't buy it. Maybe it's a waste of credits. So, if you have less than 40 armor, replenish your armor. No matter how much money you have that round. Replenish that armor will save your life. That is not armor, that is additional health points for you that will save you from enemy's ability and from the certain death. As I said, the first round buy, you can buy certain things, like for example, you can buy classic pistol, the light armor, and you can buy your abilities, all of your abilities. Actually, you don't buy the classic sidearm, you get that one for free. The second buy option that you can go is Frenzy, Light Shield, and that's it. Basically, you're playing cocky, you're a cocky player, you want to hold really close angles like this, or just play in face of your enemies, because this pistol is basically a automatic gun. It's an automatic gun, like you fire a lot of bullets, your enemies will be unable to kill you that fast. The third buy option is Ghost with your abilities. It's the option that I personally prefer. This gun is extremely useful on a long range to mid-range distances. So if you're playing, for an example, you're attacking B site, this pistol is amazing. Because you can kill the enemy that's here, enemy that's here, enemy that's here. On a close range, it's not really that good. Sidearm, Frenzy, they're much better. But on a mid-range to long-range distance, you're going to destroy your enemies. You can take mid-control, etc. The fourth viable buy option is just Sheriff. But I prefer playing Sheriff in an eco round or half buy rounds or something like that. Like, I will never play Sheriff in a full buy round or at the first round. First round only if you are a cocky player, like you really want to go for those 1D headshots, like then you should buy it, like if you're really confident, but there is no reason to deny Ghost, Frenzy and classic sidearm powers. Especially with the abilities that you can purchase. If you lose the first round of the half, then you should consider saving. Try to save all the credits and attack together one side, like all 5 of you attack B, A, C, whatever, mid, take some other control. You can also force that round. In the fourth round with 100 credits, you should buy Sheriff and Heavy Armor, and maybe one of your abilities. And if you won the first round, then you should consider to buy Bulldog and Heavy Shield if you have enough of money, of course. Or maybe Bulldog and Light Shield with a bit of abilities that you have, or actually you're going to purchase. Also, the second viable option in that second round, if you won the first round, is a Heavy Shield and Spectre, or maybe Heavy Shield with Sheriff and some of your abilities. If you, for an example, lose the first round, lose the second round which you forced, and you are now into the third round with around 2,800 credits, then you should try to half buy, so have enough money to buy fully into the fourth round. So you want to enter the fourth round with Vandal, Phantom and Heavy Shield, but in the third round try to have at least Sheriff and Heavy Shield to try to make some damage to your enemy's economy. I don't know, maybe you're going to win the round with that Sheriff. And in fourth round, no matter what you do, so no matter how bad you are at your economy, no matter what you did the past 3 rounds, in the fourth round, you must have the main weapons, you must have the Heavy Shield, you must have Phantom, Vandal or Guardian and your abilities. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the early game in-depth Valorant economy guide. And that concludes this Valorant coaching session. I hope that I fixed your early game economy in Valorant and gave you a bit better understanding of what should you buy in early rounds of the game. If you found this video helpful or informative, hit that subscribe, turn on those goddamn notifications and spank that bell icon so you don't miss any new content from me, myself, Charlatano. Leave a like on this video and leave a comment down below, it helps me a lot. You can also share this video and spread the word about this channel with everyone you know. In the description you have other social media where you can follow me for some future live streams and announcements. And you can also join my official Discord server. I want to keep in touch with all of you, my dear friends. I'm yours, one and only, Warden of the Valorant community. Thank you for watching and cut!